He walked into the diner acting like he owned the world, until he humiliated the quiet black waitress serving his table. But when she leaned in and whispered just 3 words, the entire restaurant froze, and the Mafia boss's face changed instantly. "Thank you for sticking around with me, my wonderful story family. If you're already hooked in for today's story and ready to enjoy it, click subscribe and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Because tomorrow, I will be giving you another story just as interesting as this one. And you don't want to miss it." Danae Brooks had survived New York for 3 years, which, by her calculations, was equivalent to 10 years in any normal city, 20 if you included her customer service trauma. Aurelio's was the nicest restaurant she had ever worked in. Nice as in chandeliers big enough to cost more than her entire existence and customers who left tips the way royalty left blessings. Tonight felt normal, until the doors opened, and Danger walked in wearing a charcoal suit. The first thing she noticed about him was the stillness. Some men walk into a room like they own it. He walked in like he owned the building, the block, and your future credit score. Leonardo Kim. The name slid through the staff line like a whisper, scared of its own echo. Danae didn't scare easily, but even she felt her shoulders tense when she saw those neck tattoos. Intricate, expensive, the kind of design you only get when you've run out of softer hobbies. Her manager, Mr. Klein, nearly fainted with excitement/anxiety/impending doom. "Danae," he squeaked, "you're taking table 12. She blinked. "Why me?" "Because," he glanced around dramatically, "you're the only one he hasn't memorized." "That's supposed to make me feel better?" "You'll be fine," he whispered, eyes wide like a raccoon caught stealing bread. "Just don't, provoke him." She stared flatly. "Do I look like someone who wakes up and chooses to provoke Mafia bosses?" He didn't answer. Because, honestly, yes. Yes, she did. Danae inhaled, adjusted her vest, and walked toward the table with all the calm professionalism she could muster. Leonardo didn't spare her a glance at first. He was busy scanning the room like he was deciding whose will to rewrite. His 5 men sat around him. Sharp suits, sharp cheekbones, nervous energy. She set down the menus. "Good evening, gentlemen. May I start you with anything?" Leonardo's eyes lifted. And paused. Not in the usual sleazy customer way. This was different. His gaze flicked to her name tag, then to her face, then back again. A slow, controlled smirk tugged at his mouth. "Interesting," he murmured. Every hair on the back of her neck stood up. "This place usually hires a different type." Her eyebrows rose. "A different what exactly?" He leaned back in his chair, voice dripping with amused disdain. "I didn't realize Aurelio's was lowering standards." Silence dropped over the restaurant like a guillotine. Danae stared at him. And in that split second, her exhaustion won out over her self-preservation. She stepped forward slightly, chin tilted, eyes sharp. "Repeat it." The entire table inhaled like one organism. One of Leonardo's men whispered, "Boss." Leonardo lifted a hand, never breaking eye contact. Danae didn't blink. "Go ahead," she said softly. "Finish the sentence." His jaw flexed. For a brief, stunned moment, the Mafia boss looked like a man slapped across the face by his own expectations. Then, finally, he exhaled. "Bring us the wine list." Translation. He surrendered. She set the list down lightly. "Of course." As she walked away, she could feel his gaze burning into her back, not with annoyance, with intrigue. A deeply inconvenient, unsettling kind of intrigue. She didn't realize she had just kicked over the first domino in a chain reaction that would append both their lives. Behind her, one man hissed, "Boss, she just..." "I know what she did," Leonardo muttered. And something was chilling in the way he said it. Something personal. Something not new. Because, despite what Danae thought, this was not their first connection. Leonardo Kim already knew her name. Not from her tag. From her father. The father she thought was dead. The father, who had once betrayed Leonardo so brutally that he had sworn revenge on the entire family. The father, Leonardo, never expected to see echoes of himself in a fearless waitress standing before him. If you believe people deserve to be treated with respect, hit subscribe. Only bullies, cowards, and wannabe mafia bosses wouldn't. The dining room returned to motion, but the tension clung to the air like an overcooked creme brulee, burnt at the top, wobbly underneath, and absolutely one spark away from disaster. Danae moved through the restaurant with the grace of someone who had mastered the art of hiding panic under professional posture. Inside, she was replaying the insult, her comeback, the way the entire room gasped like they'd witnessed a public execution, and the way Leonardo Kim had looked at her afterward. Not angry. Not offended. Intrigued. And that was somehow worse. She groaned under her breath. Lord, if this is the night I die, at least let them spell my name right on the t-shirt memorial. She grabbed the bottle of Amarone, an annoyingly expensive wine that cost more than her monthly rent, and headed back to the table. Behind her, the kitchen staff watched like she was marching into a gladiator arena. Girl, whispered Carmen, if he stabs you, I'm calling out tomorrow. I can't process trauma on a Thursday. Danae snorted, squared her shoulders, and approached table 12. Leonardo didn't look at the wine, he looked at her. Like she was a puzzle missing one very specific, dangerous piece. She uncorked the bottle smoothly. Would you like to taste? No, his voice cut in, low and controlled. Vous pour. Pour. Not taste first, not let my lieutenant taste, not follow protocol. Oh, he was petty. Mafia-level petty. Fine. She tilted the bottle, filling his glass precisely to the standard line. He watched her hands. Not her face. Her hands. You're steady, he said quietly. It's my job. No, he tilted his head. It's something else. She raised a brow. You psychoanalyze all your waitresses, or am I just special because I didn't crumble under your discount insult? His men inhaled sharply. But Leonardo. He smiled. A slow, amused curl of his mouth that said you have no idea what you've just stepped into. You're not special, he lied. Danae placed the bottle on the table. You're right. I'm not. Just a waitress paying rent and minding my business. That's so, he murmured, fingers tapping the table. His eyes drifted to her name tag again. Not reading. Confirming. Brooks. The way he said it made her pause. Danae straightened. Something wrong with my name? Leonardo's gaze sharpened, slicing through her composure with surgical precision. No, he said softly. Nothing wrong with the name. Just didn't expect to see it again. Her stomach tightened. Again. The boss beside him shifted nervously. Leo. Leonardo lifted a finger. Silence. Then he leaned forward slightly. Tell me, he said, voice gentle in a way that did not match the tattoos or the power crackling off him. Is your father still alive? The wine bottle slipped in her grip. She caught it before it fell, but the shock hit her full force. What? She asked, breath hitching. Why would you? Because, he said, tone deceptively calm, I owe a man named Brooks a debt. A debt. The way he said it chilled her. Her father had died when she was 16. A heart attack. Ordinary. Unremarkable. Painful, yes, but normal. Leonardo Kim did not behave normally. Danae forced her voice steady. My father is dead. Leonardo's eyes darkened, confusion flickering across his face, then something like disbelief. Impossible. This conversation is inappropriate, she snapped, suddenly angry, suddenly overwhelmed. I'm not here to. His name, Leonardo pressed, leaning forward, was Samuel Brooks. Danae froze. Her pulse slammed in her ears. Her father's name. Her real father's name. The one she never told anyone at work. The one not on her paperwork. The one she never used. Because for 17 years, she'd been hiding from everything connected to him. And Leonardo Kim had just spoken it like a ghost pulling open a door she had nailed shut. Danae's voice cracked despite her best effort. How do you know that name? Leonardo stared at her. Not with arrogance, not with mockery. With realization. With recognition. With shock. He exhaled slowly, like the world had cracked open beneath him. You, he whispered. Look nothing like him. Who? she demanded. Who do I look like? A pause. A heavy, suffocating pause. Then, your mother, Leonardo said. So much like your mother. Her skin prickled. Her mother died 8 years ago. Also normal circumstances. Also nothing suspicious. But the way he said it, like he wasn't remembering a rumor. Like he was remembering a woman. Danae's voice dropped to a whisper. You knew them. Leonardo didn't answer. Which meant, yes. And you insulted me. She snapped, fury replacing fear. He blinked, almost offended by her tone. You, he pointed at her, walked over to this table like you were immune to danger. And you, she pointed right back, insulted me like I wasn't holding a bottle worth more than your childhood. His men stared at the two of them, entirely unsure if they were witnessing a fight, a flirtation, or the beginning of a slow, messy death. Danae leaned closer. Why do you know my father's name? Leonardo leaned in too, until they were inches apart, breath and heat meeting in the center. Because, he said quietly, I swore I'd kill the man who betrayed me. Her heart stopped. Stopped. But he's dead, she whispered. Leonardo's jaw clenched. No. He isn't. He is, she insisted. I buried him. No, his eyes locked with hers. Danae. Someone lied to you. The room spun. Her pulse thundered. Her breath caught. Before she could speak, before she could demand answers, a gunshot cracked from outside the restaurant. A warning shot. A declaration. A message. Leonardo's men stood instantly. Hands on weapons. Danae staggered back from the table. Leonardo rose slowly, his expression transforming from shocked man to Mafia king. He looked at the door. Then at Danae's. You need to come with me, he said. Now. She shook her head. I'm not going anywhere with you. He stepped closer. There are people outside who think you know your father's secrets. What secrets? She cried. I don't know. He grabbed her wrist, not harshly but urgently. But they're willing to kill you to find out. If a mafia boss ever insults you, hit subscribe for instant karma. The front windows of Aurelio's trembled from the gunshot's echo. Conversation died instantly. Forks froze midair. Someone dropped a plate that shattered like it had been waiting for a dramatic exit. Danae's heart sprinted. What was that? Leonardo didn't blink. A warning. Warning for whom? You. Her stomach flipped. Nope. Absolutely not. She was a waitress with student loans, not a target in a mob thriller. Leonardo tightened his grip on her wrist. Not painful, just commanding. His men moved instantly, forming a protective circle around them like she was suddenly a VIP. Or worse. A liability. Let go, she hissed. You step outside alone, you die, he said calmly. So no. I won't. Danae yanked her hand free anyway. I'm not going anywhere with a man who insulted me 5 minutes ago. His jaw flexed. If that bullet had been 1 inch lower, it would have come through the window behind you. You still want to argue. She swallowed. Hard. He wasn't wrong. She hated that he wasn't wrong. Aurelio's manager ran toward them, sweating like he'd sprinted through a desert. Mr. Kim, we assure you the restaurant has the highest security. Leonardo cut him off with a look so sharp it nearly sliced the man's soul. This has nothing to do with your restaurant. His gaze shifted to Danae. It has everything to do with her. Every muscle in Danae's body contracted at once. Why? She demanded. Why would anyone be shooting at me? Leonardo didn't answer right away. He looked conflicted, like he wasn't sure how much truth she could handle in one night. His second in command, a tall guy with cheekbones sharp enough to file paperwork, leaned in. Boss, if her father's still alive, they'll assume she knows where. I don't know anything, Danae shouted. Leonardo nodded. That's what worries me. Danae flinched. How is that supposed to help? Because, he said, stepping closer, people who know nothing are the easiest to interrogate. Her blood turned to cold static. Leonardo wasn't threatening her. He was warning her. "Come with me," he repeated. "I can keep you alive." She crossed her arms tightly. "And what if you're the danger?" He didn't blink. "Then you're already dead." Another gunshot cracked outside. Closer. Danae jumped. A few customers screamed. Security sprinted toward the entrance. Leonardo's men closed around him like a fortress. He extended a hand. Open, steady, surprisingly gentle. "Danae," he said, "if you step out of this restaurant without protection, I will watch you die in under 5 minutes." His voice didn't shake. Not because he didn't care, but because he knew. Her pulse hammered. Every logical bone in her body screamed she should run in the opposite direction. But something in his eyes, not softness, not compassion, recognition, that rattled her more than the bullets. She took one shaky breath. "Fine," she said. "But you don't get to order me around." A faint smirk tugged at his mouth. "You sure? Positive? Then stay behind me and don't argue. That's ordering me. That's survival." Before she could snap back, one of his men whispered urgently, "They're coming." Leonardo grabbed her hand without asking permission. And this time she didn't pull away. They rushed toward the back exit, weaving through panicked staff. "Who's shooting?" Danae demanded. "Men who think your father is still alive," Leonardo said. "My father is dead. That's what someone wanted you to believe." She stumbled. "Why would someone fake his death?" "To protect you." His voice dropped lower. "Or to protect himself." Her head spun. "This is insane. Welcome to my world. Return to sender, please." Leonardo stopped and forced her to look at him. "Danae, listen carefully." His voice was steel wrapped in velvet. "Your father betrayed me. But I never found him. Someone hid him. If word got out that you exist." "It did," she whispered. "Yes." "And now they want me dead?" "Yes." "So they think I know something?" "Yes." "But I don't." He nodded once. "Which means they'll hurt you until you do." Cold fear shot through her chest. Outside, tires screeched. Men shouted. Footsteps raced toward the alley. Leonardo pulled her close, shielding her with his body. "Stay behind me," he commanded. She didn't argue this time. They burst into the alley. A black SUV waited, engine running. 3 armed men sprinted toward them from the opposite end. Danae's breath caught. "Oh my God!" Leonardo shoved her behind him as shots were fired. His men retaliated instantly, bullets slicing through the night. Danae covered her head, heart slamming, lungs locked. Leonardo barked orders in a voice meant for war. "Ezra, left flank. June, cover her. Juan, take the high ground." She peeked up, just long enough to see Leonardo draw a gun with terrifying precision, shooting without hesitation, without fear, without missing. He didn't look like a man who insulted waitresses. He looked like an executioner dressed in a museum-approved suit. A bullet ricocheted near Danae's feet. She screamed and dropped down again. Leonardo crouched beside her, grabbing her face, making her look at him. "You're safe. I said I'd protect you. Trust me." She trembled. "I don't trust you. If I wanted you dead," he leaned closer, eyes burning into hers, "I would have let them pull the trigger." Another shot cracked the air. A man screamed. Leonardo yanked her into the SUV. His men piled in and slammed the doors. "Drive." The tires screeched as they tore down the alley. Danae collapsed back in her seat, shaking violently. Leonardo turned to her. "You're not going home tonight," he said. "You're coming with me." She stared at him, breath broken, heart pounding. "And if I refuse?" she whispered. Leonardo leaned in. Face shadowed, voice low, gaze unblinking. "Then you'll die before midnight." Comment, "I stand for justice, if you're not siding with the shooters tonight. Only villains stay quiet." The SUV sliced through Manhattan traffic like it had diplomatic immunity. Danae gripped the door handle so hard her knuckles whitened. She wasn't scared of cars. She was scared of what sat 2 feet away from her. Leonardo Kim. Calm. Clean suit. Hands steady. Like they hadn't just survived a mob shootout. His men were tense, scanning mirrors, guns ready. But Leonardo. He looked like he was riding to brunch. Danae glared at him. Is this normal for you? Abducting waitresses between entrees? If you were abducted, he replied, you wouldn't be conscious. She choked on outrage. That's not reassuring. It wasn't meant to be. Ezra, the cheekbone assassin in the passenger seat, turned slightly. Boss, we lost them. For now. Good. Leonardo muttered. For now. Danae echoed sharply. Why does everyone keep saying, for now? Why not permanently, or actually safe, or you're fine, Danae? Let's bake cookies. Leonardo gave her a sideways glance. You don't strike me as someone who bakes cookies. Don't change the subject. He stared ahead. I'm not. You're not safe. The SUV pulled up to a brownstone in a quiet, upscale neighborhood. The kind of place where the air smelled like money and HOA rules. Danae hesitated. Where are we? My safe house. Why do you have a safe house? He looked at her like she'd asked why birds have wings. I run an organization that people try to kill. Frequently. Fantastic, she deadpanned. Just the vacation I needed. He actually huffed a laugh, short and surprised. Ezra opened the door. Leonardo stepped out first. Danae followed, because what choice did she have? The air felt colder outside, the street too quiet. Inside, the safe house was luxurious but sterile. Dark wood floors, expensive lighting, and leather furniture positioned like they were auditioning for a magazine. No personal touches. No photos. No warmth. A house built for survival, not living. Danae crossed her arms. Okay. Talk. Why am I here? Leonardo removed his jacket, draped it neatly over a chair, and rolled up his sleeves with slow precision. Danae hated herself for noticing his forearms. Focus. Woman. He finally spoke. Your father didn't die in a car accident, he said. He was being hunted. He disappeared. The only way to keep you safe was to let you believe he was dead. Her breath caught painfully. You're lying. No. He would have contacted me. Leonardo shook his head. Not if reaching out would put a target on your back. Which it did anyway. Ezra added quietly. People think Danae might be the only person he told something. What something? Danae demanded. Leonardo looked at her like he was weighing whether she could handle the truth, whether it would shatter her. Your father stole something from me, he said. Her stomach dropped. And the people who want it back think he gave it to you. Danae stepped backward. I don't have anything. I didn't even know you existed until you insulted me 10 minutes before I almost got shot. Leonardo sighed. Yes. About that. Oh look, she snapped. The apology is coming. It's not an apology. Shocking. He stepped closer, gaze intense. When I walked into Aurelio's, I didn't know who you were. Not at first. You just what? He paused. Didn't look like a threat. Danae rolled her eyes. Your instincts are terrible. Apparently. Silence settled, thick, heavy. Danae's voice softened. So you really knew my father? Leonardo nodded. He worked for me. Trusted. Loyal. Until he wasn't. What did he do? He stole information that could ruin multiple syndicates. Not just mine. And you think I have it? No, he inhaled deeply. They do. Ezra cleared his throat. And they won't stop. Not tonight. Not ever. Not until they get answers. Danae stared at the floor. Her entire life suddenly felt like a lie someone else had written. The room dimmed around her. My dad would never betray anyone, she whispered. Leonardo's eyes softened. Barely. I'm not the only person he betrayed. What does that mean? He took a step closer. Danae, the man you think you knew, he lived a double life. And the information he stole could burn half the criminal world to ash. She shook her head, stepping away. I need to think. You can think here. No. She spun toward the door. Ezra blocked it instantly. You can't leave. Try stopping me, she hissed. Leonardo didn't raise his voice. Danae, if you walk out, you won't make it to the end of the block. She froze. His tone had changed. No arrogance, no dominance. Just truth. Hard, cold truth. She swallowed the rising fear. You're asking me to trust you. No, he corrected softly. I'm asking you to stay alive. Her chest tightened. Leonardo stepped closer, lowering his voice to something dangerously gentle. You're safe here. No one gets in without going through me. Her pulse quickened. And what if I don't trust you? He held her gaze. Then trust that I don't let people die on my watch. The way he said it, quiet, fierce, unwavering, did something to her. Something warm. Something stupid. Something she'd deny until she died. Before she could respond, a phone vibrated. Leonardo checked it. His face went still. Ezra tensed. Boss. Leonardo looked up at Danae. They found your apartment. Her blood turned to ice. What? They torched it, he said. There's nothing left. Danae staggered backward as if the words were physical blows. My home. Leonardo caught her before she fell. Danae's voice cracked. Why is this happening to me? I didn't do anything. You were born, Leonardo said quietly. That was enough. Tears burned, but she refused to let them fall. He guided her gently to a chair. You're staying here, he said. She didn't fight him this time. She couldn't. Everything she owned was gone. Everything she knew was a lie. And the only person standing between her and death was the man who'd insulted her an hour ago. Leonardo watched her trembling hands. Danae, he said softly. I promise you. I won't let them touch you. Her voice was barely a whisper. Why? His answer was low, dangerous, and entirely unexpected. Because I don't make the same mistake twice. Hit subscribe if you believe no innocent person deserves to be hunted. Only the heartless stay silent. Danae didn't sleep. She tried. God knows she tried. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw flames swallowing her apartment, felt heat licking at her skin, and heard the echo of Leonardo's calm sentence. They torched it. There's nothing left. Nothing left. Her clothes. Her photos. Her journals. The coffee mug she stole from her mom's kitchen when she moved out. The stupid cat-shaped lamp she'd bought at a flea market because it felt safe. Gone. She stared at the unfamiliar ceiling in the safe-house guest room. The mattress was too expensive, too plush, too not hers. And the walls felt like they were watching her. An ache pulsed behind her eyes. Why me? She whispered into the darkness. A soft knock answered her. Danae shot upright. The door cracked open just enough for Leonardo to appear, still dressed in that suit, still immaculate, like mob bosses didn't need sleep. You awake? He asked quietly. No, she muttered. I'm just sitting upright in bed practicing for a zombie audition. He almost smiled. Almost. I need to talk to you, he said. If you're here to say my next of kin is also missing, I swear to God. No more bad news, he said. Not tonight. She exhaled sharply. Fine. What? Follow me. She hesitated because following a mafia boss down a hallway was how people ended up in documentaries. But he stepped back, giving her space, giving her time. She followed. Barefoot and tense, she padded through the dim safehouse hallway until they reached a locked door. Leonardo pressed his thumb to a scanner. A soft click. He pushed the door open. Danae stepped inside. And stopped breathing. It was a study. Large. Quiet. Heavy with secrets. Dark shelves lined the walls, filled with carefully organized files, books, ledgers, and artifacts she didn't understand. A massive window overlooked the sleeping city, lights glittering like scattered diamonds. But it wasn't the breathtaking room that froze her. It was the photograph on the far wall. Her father. Younger. Sharper. Standing beside Leonardo. Both of them are smiling. Danae felt the air drain from her lungs. "My dad," she whispered. Leonardo walked to the photo. His expression complicated. "He was like a brother to me," he said quietly. "Before everything fell apart." Danae stepped closer, eyes burning. "He never told me he knew you." "He couldn't. You make it sound like he was forced." "He was." Danae snapped her gaze toward him. "Explain." "All of it. Now." Leonardo didn't flinch under the fire in her voice. He moved to the window, hands clasped behind him, posture rigid. Then he began. "Your father's name, his real one, was Raphael Brooks." Her breath caught. "He was my strategist," Leonardo continued. "The smartest man I'd ever met. The one person who understood how to hold power without becoming corrupted by it." "Then how did he betray you?" Leonardo's jaw clenched. "He fell in love." Danae blinked. "What does that have to do with anything?" "A woman from outside the syndicate. Someone the organization saw as a weakness. Someone they could use against him." Leonardo turned, eyes dark. "He begged me for permission to be with her." "My mother," Danae whispered. He nodded. "And you told him no?" "Worse," Leonardo said. "I told him to disappear. To protect her. To start over." Danae sucked in a sharp breath. "So you forced him out?" "No," Leonardo corrected. "I protected him. The others wanted him dead." "Because he fell in love?" "Because love makes you vulnerable." Leonardo's voice lowered. "And vulnerability gets people killed." Danae stared at him. "So what did he steal from you?" Leonardo walked to a drawer, opened it, and placed a small steel lockbox on the desk. "This." He didn't open it. Danae eyed it like it was a bomb. "What's inside?" "Leverage," he said. "Enough to topple 4 criminal empires." "And people think I have it?" "Yes." Danae ran a hand over her face. "This is insane." "It is. And dangerous." "Very." "And you brought me into this, why?" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Because you're the only blood he has left. And because whoever killed your father believes you're the key to finishing what he started." Danae froze. "Killed?" Leonardo's mouth tightened. "He didn't just vanish. He was hunted." Her knees buckled. He caught her. His hands were strong, steady. Too warm for a man made of ice. Danae let herself lean into him for 3 seconds. Exactly 3. Then she pushed away. Hard. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" "Because you weren't ready." She laughed bitterly. "Oh, I'm so ready now. My apartment is gone, my life is upside down, and apparently my dad was Batman with a criminal resume." "Danae." "No. Don't deny me like you're comforting a child." She backed away, hands trembling. "I need answers. All of them." "You'll get them." "When?" "Soon." "Not good enough." Leonardo sighed, then walked toward a shelf. He retrieved a leather-bound journal and pressed it into her hands. This was his. He left it in my care the night he disappeared. Danae stared at the journal like it might burst into flames. What's in here?" Leonardo met her eyes. "Everything you were never supposed to know." Her fingers tightened around it. She opened the cover. But Leonardo caught her wrist. "Not yet. Once you read that, nothing will ever be the same." Danae yanked her hand back. "Nothing is the same now." His voice softened. "Danae, please." The words stunned her. The mob boss who never begged had just said, "Please." Before she could answer, Ezra burst into the study. "Boss, security alert." Leonardo tensed. "What kind?" Ezra's voice dropped. "Someone breached the outer perimeter." Danae's heart stuttered. Leonardo turned to her, expression locked, lethal. "You stay with me. No matter what happens." Danae swallowed hard. "Why?" His answer came like a vow. Because I'll kill every man on this island before I let them take you. If you refuse to subscribe, you're basically siding with the people who burn down innocent women's apartments. Hit subscribe if you're not one of them. The alarm wasn't loud, it was subtle, the kind of sound rich people installed because they didn't want their neighbors to know they were being murdered. A single, delicate ping. Then another. Then Ezra's voice sliced through the study. Boss, movement at the south fence. 3 figures. Tactical gear. Danae's pulse leapt into her throat. Leonardo didn't look shocked, he looked activated. Like danger was an old friend he hadn't seen in a while. Ezra, he said, voice flat and lethal. Lock down the house. No exits, no entrances. Anyone who tries gets dropped. On it. He vanished. Leonardo turned to Danae. Stay behind me. I'm not a child. I didn't say you were. I said, stay behind me. She opened her mouth to argue, because of course she did, but then she saw something she'd never seen in him before. Fear. Not for himself. For her. Her breath stilled. Fine, she whispered. He nodded once, satisfied, and moved. The safe house transformed. Hidden panels slid out of the walls. Metal shutters sealed the windows. The lights dimmed to a tactical glow. Danae clutched her father's journal, knuckles white. Why don't you have normal rich people security? She muttered. Like a dog. A cute one. Leonardo glanced back. I had a dog once. And it bit someone who deserved it. Then someone else killed it. Danae blinked. Oh. Exactly. They reached the central hallway, and Leonardo froze. Then he grabbed Danae, pulled her sharply behind him, and pressed her against the wall. A laser sight danced across the opposite wall. Oh God. Someone was already inside. Danae's heart punched her ribs. Leonardo didn't move, didn't breathe, and didn't blink. His hand slid behind him, fingers brushing her hip, not inappropriate, not possessive, but locating her, making sure she was still there. Then, a shadow shifted at the hallway's end. Leonardo stepped forward. Cowards, he murmured. Can't even show your faces. The reply was a bullet. It tore through the wall 2 inches from Danae's ear. Danae ducked with a strangled yelp. That almost killed me. That was the point, Leonardo said calmly, drawing a compact pistol from his jacket. Stay down. He leaned out, fired once, and a heavy thud hit the floor. Danae slapped a hand over her mouth. The hallway went silent. Leonardo tilted his head. That's one. One what? Danae whispered. One idiot. He grabbed her wrist and moved again. Ezra and 2 other men were pinned behind the marble bar while masked intruders fired from the balcony above. The glass exploded. Danae ducked again. They have the high ground. Why do they have the high ground? Haven't you ever seen Star Wars? Leonardo stared at her. You're making movie references right now? I panic through sarcasm. Deal with it. A bullet cracked past. Leonardo exhaled slowly. Stay behind the sofa. What are you? But he was already moving. One fluid leap onto the coffee table. Another onto the bar. Then he launched upward, grabbed the balcony rail, and flipped over it like a man who had no interest in gravity's opinion. A grunt, a scream, a gun clattered. Ezra popped up. Boss. Silence. Then a body dropped over the balcony, landing face first on the marble. Ezra nodded. Boss. Danae let out a slow breath. I'm starting to understand why nobody argues with you. Leonardo descended the stairs, blood on his sleeve but none on his expression. All clear downstairs, he said. But there's one left. The intelligent one. Meaning what? Danae asked. Meaning he's not here to kill us. A cold knot formed in her stomach. Then what? The lights snapped off. Darkness swallowed the room. Danae sucked in a breath. Leonardo. His hand found hers instantly. I'm here. Something metal clicked across the room. Leonardo stiffened. Ezra cursed. Then the house speakers crackled. A distorted voice filled the darkness. Where's the journal, girl? Danae froze. Her blood turned to ice. They weren't here for Leonardo. They weren't here for revenge. They were here for her. And the journal she was clutching. Leonardo tightened his grip on her hand. Danae, he murmured. Give it to me. No, her voice cracked. Danae. It's the only thing left of him. I'm not handing it over. Then stay close. The voice returned. Last chance, sweetheart. Raphael hid the codes in that book. Give it to me and maybe you live. Danae's breath trembled. Leonardo stepped forward, shielding her body with his. You picked the wrong house, he snarled. A soft chuckle echoed. Funny. Raphael said the same thing. Danae's stomach dropped. Who are you? She shouted. The voice paused. Then answered. Someone your father trusted. Danae felt the world tilt beneath her feet. Leonardo's hand tightened painfully on hers. Danae, he whispered, voice low and storm-dark. Don't listen to him. But she couldn't help it. Someone her father trusted had come to kill her? Why? Why now? The answer whispered through her mind like a ghost. Because Dad left something unfinished. And I'm the last piece. Leonardo leaned close, lips brushing her ear, not intimate, but strategic. When the lights come back on, he murmured. Get down on the floor and don't move. What are you? But she didn't finish. Because the lights blasted back on. And the final intruder was standing 10 feet away. Holding a gun. Pointed directly at Danae. Leonardo lunged. A shot exploded. And someone screamed. Comment, I don't side with cowards, if you want Danae to win. Only cowards would stay silent. The shot cracked through the room like lightning splitting a tree. Danae's ears rang. Her knees buckled. For a second, she wasn't sure if the scream she heard was hers or someone else's. Leonardo slammed into her, knocking her to the floor. But his weight told her one thing instantly. He wasn't the one who'd been hit. He hovered over her protectively, breath harsh, eyes scanning her face. You're not bleeding, he said, voice tight. What about you? She gasped. I'm not either. So who? A groan echoed from the left side of the room. Ezra. He rolled behind the bar, clutching his shoulder, blood leaking through his fingers. Danae's stomach dropped. Ezra. Leonardo swore under his breath. He'll live. Danae, stay down. But the remaining intruder stepped forward, gun steady, confidence radiating off him like poison. He pulled off his mask. Danae froze. Leonardo went still as stone. Ezra muttered a curse. The man smiled, not kindly, not warmly, but like a man who recognized something he shouldn't. Hello, Danae. She blinked hard, heart hammering. She knew him. Not well. Not deeply. But she knew him. A face from her childhood, the name spoken only at cookouts and whispered arguments, a man her father used to warn her to stay away from. Isaac. She breathed. Isaac's smile widened. Yes. Good. You remember. Leonardo's voice dropped to a deadly rumble. You know him. Danae stared at Isaac, throat tight. He used to come to the house sometimes. He was one of my father's friends. Friend? Isaac chuckled. No, sweetheart. I was his partner. Danae's pulse stuttered. My father didn't have a partner. Oh, he absolutely did. A brilliant one. Loyal. Smart. Isaac raised the gun slightly. Until he wasn't. Leonardo stepped in front of Danae again, blocking her view. You're not walking out of here. Isaac ignored him. Danae, he said softly. I'm going to explain something to you. Something your father tried very, very hard to hide. Leonardo barked. Don't listen to him. But Isaac cut him off. Your father didn't die of a heart attack. Danae's blood froze. She felt the world tilt sideways. What? Her voice was a whisper. Isaac nodded slowly, savoring the devastation crossing her face. Raphael Brooks didn't collapse at home. He didn't die in his sleep. He didn't die peacefully. He tilted his head. He died because he ran. Danae's breath shattered. Leonardo tensed, like every muscle in his body was one heartbeat from violence. Isaac continued. Your father stole encrypted codes. Codes worth millions on the black market. He promised he'd share the profit. He smiled. He lied. Danae shook her head violently. No. My father didn't steal anything. Oh, sweetheart. Isaac's voice hardened. Your father was brilliant. But he was greedy. He betrayed me. He betrayed Kim. And he betrayed the entire sector he was part of. Leonardo barked. Her father didn't betray me. You're trying to rewrite history because... Isaac snapped. Because you refused to kill him when you should have. Danae's gaze whipped to Leonardo. Her stomach dropped. Kill him, she whispered. Leonardo, what is he talking about? Leonardo's jaw flexed. Isaac laughed bitterly. Ask your white knight what mercy cost him. Leonardo's voice dropped to a growl. Isaac, shut your mouth. Isaac raised the gun higher. Oh, she should know. Especially since she's about to join him. Danae's heart pounded. Leonardo, she whispered. Did you know my father? The silence that followed was the longest second of her life. Leonardo didn't turn, he didn't breathe. His fists clenched slowly at his sides. Yes, he finally said, voice low. I knew him. Her world cracked. You said you didn't. You said. I said what would keep you safe. Isaac smirked. And look how well that turned out. Danae swallowed hard, her mind racing. Her father. The codes. The journal. Leonardo's protection. Isaac's rage. She forced her voice to be steady. What do you want, Isaac? Isaac's eyes gleamed. I want the journal. The codes. The fortune your father hid. And I want the man who refused to make Raphael pay, dead. Leonardo straightened, placing himself squarely between Isaac and Danae. You won't touch her. Isaac raised the gun. Oh, I won't touch her. He smiled darkly. My bullet will. Leonardo moved. Ezra shouted. Danae screamed. A shot fired. But it didn't hit Leonardo. It didn't hit Danae. It hit the chandelier above Isaac. The massive crystal structure crashed down, shattering across the floor, sending Isaac sprawling. Leonardo flipped the table, shielding Danae as the crystals exploded across the marble. Isaac groaned beneath the debris. Leonardo surged forward, grabbed Isaac by the collar, and slammed him against the wall. You come after her again, and I'll finish what Raphael started. Isaac coughed, blood pooling at his mouth. You can't protect her forever. I won't have to. Isaac's smile twisted. You think she'll stay once she knows what you did? Once she learns why Raphael really died? Once she sees who you really... Leonardo knocked him out with a single punch. Silence fell. Danae stared at Leonardo, trembling. He stared back, chest heaving, eyes tortured. Danae, he said carefully, listen. She shook her head. No. Not now. I need air. She backed away, hand touching the journal. Danae. I said not now. Leonardo froze. For the first time since she'd met him, the Mafia boss looked unsteady. She turned and walked away before the cracks in her voice could break her entirely. Comment, I don't defend liars if you're standing with Danae. Silence is for people like Isaac. Danae didn't stop walking until the alley outside Aurelio's wrapped around her like cold brick arms. The night smelled of rain and exhaust. Her hands shook. Her lungs felt too small. And her mind was running like someone had cut the brakes. Leonardo knew her father. Knew him long before she ever came to New York. Knew him deeply enough that Isaac could weaponize it. She pressed her palms to her temples. Why didn't he tell me? She whispered to no one. No, why did he lie? A door opened behind her. Footsteps. She tensed. Danae. Leonardo's voice, low, careful, as if approaching a wounded animal. She didn't turn. Not yet. Are you hurt? He asked softly. No, she said. Just reevaluating my entire life. He exhaled. Fair. Silence stretched between them, not the calm kind. The kind filled with sharp edges and things unsaid. Finally, she turned. Leonardo stood there, shirt splattered with dust and shattered crystal, jaw tight, eyes fierce and broken. Yes, broken. That startled her. She crossed her arms. Start talking. He hesitated. Leonardo, she said through clenched teeth. If you lie right now, I swear. I'm not lying. His voice cracked ever so slightly. I'll tell you everything. She swallowed. Then tell me who my father was to you. Leonardo stepped closer, stopping only when she lifted her chin in warning. I knew Raphael, he said. Before any of this. Before the power, before the syndicates, before Isaac turned into whatever he is now. Danae frowned. You said you didn't. I know. He looked almost ashamed. I lied because I didn't want you to look at me and see the man your father feared. Her breath hitched. My father feared you? Leonardo gave a humorless laugh. Everyone feared me back then. I was a weapon in a suit. Raphael was the only person who ever looked me in the eye and said, Sit down, kid, you're too dramatic. Danae blinked. Her father had said that? To him? Leonardo continued. He wasn't a criminal. Not at first. He was brilliant. Obsessively brilliant. Codes, systems, encryptions. He could crack anything. Isaac wanted to use him. I tried to warn him. Danae felt her heartbeat trip. Warn him about what? That Isaac wasn't loyal. He rubbed the back of his neck. That Isaac planned to sell the codes on the black market. That he was going to drag your father into something ugly. And my father didn't listen? He trusted the wrong man. He thought he could outsmart Isaac and walk away clean. Danae bit her lip. That journal, he wrote about a partner. Leonardo nodded. That was me. Her chest tightened. You were the partner? Yes. Leonardo's jaw clenched. I helped him design the encryption. I helped him hide the codes after he realized Isaac planned to kill him. Danae's eyes widened. He hid them. Yes. And he didn't tell anyone where. The journal. The pages are written in symbols. The warnings. Her father had been terrified. And the night he died, she whispered. Leonardo looked away. I was there. Danae stepped back like the ground had burned her. You, her voice cracked. You were there when he died and you didn't tell me? Leonardo reached out, but she jerked away. It wasn't like that, he said quickly. Isaac sent people after him. I tried to intercept. I tried to stop it. By the time I got to him. He shut his eyes. By the time I got to him, it was too late. Danae's throat closed. You held this from me. You let me walk around believing he died peacefully when he died terrified. His voice softened. He wasn't terrified, Danae. She frowned, tears stinging her eyes. What? Leonardo looked at her with something raw and unguarded. Your father spent his last breath telling me to find you. Protect you. Keep you away from Isaac. He made me promise. Danae froze. My father said that? Yes. She covered her mouth, swallowing hard. And you've been protecting me because of a promise? No, Leonardo said firmly. No, Danae. I protected you because I wanted to. The promise was only the beginning. Silence. Heavy, trembling silence. Then Danae whispered, Why didn't you tell me any of this? Leonardo's voice cracked for the second time that night. Because I didn't want you to look at me and see the night your father died. Danae's breath shuddered. And now, she whispered, what do you want me to see? He took a slow step toward her. A man who would burn this whole city to the ground before letting Isaac touch you. Her heart fluttered painfully. You don't get to say things like that when I'm angry at you. He gave a faint, crooked smile. You're always angry at me. Not always. That surprised him. And her. Leonardo reached for her again. Slow this time, giving her space to pull back. She didn't. His fingers brushed her cheek lightly, reverently, as if she were something fragile and holy. You scare me, he murmured. Danae blinked. Me? Yes. Because you're the first person who's ever looked at me without fear. Until tonight. That hit her harder than it should have. She swallowed. I'm not afraid of you, Leonardo. He inhaled sharply. Then don't walk away. She looked up at him, emotions warring inside her. I don't trust you, she whispered. But I want to. His expression softened in a way she'd never seen. Then let me earn it. Her heartbeat skittered. We need to talk more. But not here. He nodded. I'll take you home. Danae hesitated. Then she whispered, Okay. He offered her his hand. And she took it, knowing full well that nothing would ever be the same again. If you refuse to support liars and manipulators like Isaac, hit subscribe right now. Only people who'd betray their own family wouldn't. The drive back to Danae's building was quiet, but not peaceful. Quiet in the way a ticking bomb is quiet. Leonardo kept one hand on the wheel, the other clenched on his thigh, tendons sharp under the streetlights. He kept glancing at her, not in fear she might run, but in fear she might disappear. Danae sat stiff in the passenger seat, arms folded tightly, brain spinning through every version of reality she thought she knew. Her father. The codes. Isaac.Leonardo's secrets. And now, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. Unknown number. You shouldn't have gone digging. Her stomach dropped. Leonardo noticed immediately. Who is it? Danae swallowed hard and showed him. His jaw clenched so tightly she heard it. Isaac, he growled. He swerved onto a side street, parking in the shadow of a loading dock. Get out, he commanded. She blinked. Excuse me. We're not going home. Because of a text? Danae snapped. No, Leonardo's eyes darkened. Because Isaac doesn't warn. He moves. Danae exhaled shakily. So where are we going? A beat. Somewhere he can't reach you. She crossed her arms. You can't just stash me away like furniture. I'm not, Leonardo said. I'm keeping you alive. Danae opened her mouth to argue, but the sound of screeching tires cut her off. A black SUV turned the corner fast. Too fast. Leonardo's eyes widened. Move. He grabbed her arm, and they dove behind a concrete pillar just as the SUV's doors flew open. Men spilled out in dark coats. Isaac's men. Danae's pulse thrummed wildly. One of them called out. Leonardo. Isaac wants a word. Leonardo muttered under his breath. He can choke. Danae whispered. Do they have guns? Leonardo gave her a grim look. They're Isaac's men. Of course they have guns. Danae closed her eyes. Great. Wonderful. Lovely. Why not add a marching band while we're at it? Leonardo cracked a tiny grin. You're unbelievable. That makes two of us, she shot back. Footsteps approached. Leonardo grabbed her waist and pulled her deeper into the loading dock shadows. Stay behind me. If you think I'm letting you get shot while I stand here doing nothing, you don't know me at all. He turned, surprised by her tone. And maybe a little impressed. I'm starting to, he murmured. Then, Leonardo. A voice rang across the loading dock. Sharp. Mocking. It wasn't Isaac. But Leo recognized him instantly. Russo. Isaac's second in command. A snake with a human budget. We know you've been hiding the girl, Russo called. Isaac wants a chat. Bring her out and maybe he'll be generous. Leonardo's grip tightened. Danae leaned close to whisper, What does generous mean in criminal language? Not killing you, Leonardo whispered back. Danae's eyes widened. Oh, fabulous. Excellent. And here I thought I was getting a fruit basket. Russo laughed into the shadows. You really think we won't search every alley in the city? Hand her over, and maybe Isaac won't level the whole block. Danae stiffened. They'd destroy a block just to get me? Leonardo didn't answer. That was enough. He tilted his head. Follow me. Where? No time. He grabbed her hand and led her toward a metal service door. Just as he reached for it, bang! A bullet sparked off the doorframe. Danae screamed and ducked. Leonardo shoved her behind him, eyes blazing. "Run!" he barked. "I'm not leaving you." He shot her a look drenched in something dangerous and fierce. "Yes, you are." More gunshots. They scattered. Danae sprinted toward a stack of crates, heart thundering, adrenaline clawing up her spine. Leonardo dashed in the opposite direction, drawing the gunfire away from her. Russo yelled, "Don't kill the girl. Isaac wants her breathing." Another voice added, "But the boyfriend's optional." Danae's blood went cold. Leonardo skidded over a ramp, hiding behind a massive spool of industrial cable. She peeked from behind her crates. Two men flanked him. He couldn't run. And Danae was done running. She spotted something beside her. A broken metal pipe. Not ideal. Not smart. But neither was she tonight. She gripped the pipe, hands trembling, and crept behind the men. Russo lifted his gun toward Leonardo. "Isaac says hello." Danae didn't think. She swung. The pipe is connected to a skull. Hard. The man dropped. The second man spun around. Danae raised the pipe again, ready to die swinging. But Leonardo was already behind the second gunman. A single punch did a chokehold. He hit the ground. Leonardo turned, staring at Danae like he wasn't sure she was real. "You could have been killed." She threw the pipe down. "And you could have been too." His chest rose and fell hard. "You came back for me." "Of course I did," she snapped. "You think I'm going to let Isaac's cartoon villains drag you off?" A slow, stunned smile spread across his face. Then something behind her flickered. Movement. Danae ducked. He lunged. Boom. The entire loading dock exploded with light as a van burst through the side gate. A figure stepped out. Tall. Calm. Smiling like a crocodile in a silk suit. Isaac. Danae's heart plummeted. Isaac spread his arms wide. "Look at this reunion. Heartwarming." Leonardo shoved Danae behind him. Isaac laughed. "Oh, relax, old friend. I'm not here to kill you." Then his smile sharpened. "Not yet." Danae stepped forward. "I know who you are," she said, voice shaking but steady. Isaac raised an eyebrow. "And I know who you are," he replied. "Your father and I spent years working together. He was brilliant. Loyal. You killed him," she spat. Isaac placed a hand on his chest in mock offense. "Well, I didn't strangle him personally, darling. Delegation is important." Danae lunged, but Leonardo held her back. Isaac chuckled. "Temper. Just like Raphael." He walked closer. "Your father didn't want to cooperate with my little business venture. But you." He flicked his eyes to Leonardo. "You've clearly inherited a gift." Danae narrowed her eyes. "What gift?" Isaac grinned. "The codes, of course. The ones Raphael hid before he died. The ones worth millions." Danae's blood froze. "What codes?" Leonardo uttered her name softly. "Danae." Isaac clapped once. "Oh, come on, Leonardo. You didn't tell her she's the key. That's disappointing." Danae felt the ground sway. "The journal," she whispered. "My father's journal." Isaac smirked. "Now she gets it." Leonardo growled. "You're not getting anything from her." Isaac sighed and signaled to his men. "That's what I was afraid you'd say." Fortunately. The men raised weapons. "I brought persuasion." Leonardo grabbed Danae, pulling her behind a forklift. Bullets ripped through crates. Sparks flew. Wood exploded. Danae covered her head. Leonardo pressed her against him. "We have to run," he whispered. "We can't win this fight." Danae nodded shakily. He grabbed her hand. On 3. 1. Gunfire. 2. Isaac shouted, "Grab them alive." 3. They bolted toward the emergency door. But before they reached it, a gunshot hit the metal beside Danae's face. Another man stepped into view, blocking the exit. He held a gun. And he was smiling right at Leonardo. "Boss," he purred. Leonardo's breath caught. "Adrian," he whispered. Danae blinked. "Who is?" Leonardo swallowed hard. "My brother." Danae's world stuttered. "Brother." Isaac smirked behind him. "Oh, good," Isaac drawled. "You two haven't caught up in years." Danae whispered, horrified. "There are two of you." Adrian tilted his head. "Sorry, Leo." Isaac made a better offer. Leonardo stepped forward in fury. "You traitor." Adrian raised the gun. "No," he said softly. "I'm surviving." Danae grabbed Leonardo's arm. "Leo." His eyes locked onto hers. "This is the twist you weren't ready for," he whispered. And she knew. Everything was about to collapse. Only people who side with cowards like Isaac would leave without subscribing. If you stand for loyalty and justice, hit subscribe now. For a moment, it felt like the entire loading dock held its breath. Leonardo's brother, Adrian Kim, stood in the emergency exit doorway, gun raised, face carved from ice. Danae stared at him. He looked just like Leonardo. If Leonardo had chosen betrayal instead of loyalty, if Leonardo had chosen greed instead of grit, if Leonardo had chosen Isaac. Leonardo's muscles tensed. His voice dropped into a dangerous, deadly calm. "You're working with him?" Adrian shrugged lightly, the gun never wavering. "Times change, Leo. Isaac offers opportunities. You offer nostalgia." Danae felt a cold wave move through her. This wasn't just a shootout. This was a family unraveling. Isaac clapped his hands once, delighted. "Oh, Leonardo. You never told her about Adrian? That's cold, even for you." Leonardo ignored him. "Put the gun down," he told his brother. Adrian smirked. "Or what? You'll kill me." A beat. Leonardo's jaw flexed. "If I have to." Danae flinched. Adrian laughed softly, shaking his head. "You're still pretending you have limits," he said. "That's your problem. And that's why Isaac likes me better." Isaac nodded. "It's true. He follows orders. You form emotional attachments. Very messy." His eyes flicked to Danae as he said it. Danae's stomach nodded. Leonardo stepped forward, ignoring the gun pointed at him. "You don't want to do this," he told Adrian. "Oh, but I do." "No, you don't," Leonardo snapped, voice cracking through the air. "Because killing me won't fix what you broke. It won't bring back our mother. It won't erase what our father did. And it won't make Isaac's family." Adrian's jaw twitched. There it was. A crack. A real one. Danae seized on it. "Adrian," she said softly, "you don't have to be them. You can still choose something better." Adrian looked at her. Really looked. Recognition crossed his face. "You're Raphael's kid," he murmured. Danae stiffened. "And?" Adrian tilted his head. "You're the reason Isaac's obsessed." "Obsessed?" Danae echoed. Isaac smoothed his silk jacket, annoyance flickering. "I simply want what Raphael stole. The access codes. The offshore pipeline. The encrypted contacts. And since he hid them where only his daughter could find them." Danae's breath hitched. Leonardo turned sharply to her. "You knew about this?" "No." Danae snapped. "I didn't even know my dad was involved with any of you until you said it." Isaac sked. "Then allow me to clarify." He stepped closer. Leonardo moved to block him. Isaac smiled thinly. "Raphael Brooks was brilliant. He built a digital laundering network that made every syndicate drool. He promised to share it with us. Then he ran." Danae swallowed. "Because you threatened him." "No," Isaac said with a shrug. "Because he realized he could sell it for more." Danae's heart plummeted. Her father, a man she idolized, was tangled in syndicate greed? Isaac continued. "But before he died, Raphael left the codes hidden in a place only you could access." Danae felt her hands go numb. "Where?" she whispered. Isaac's grin widened. "That journal." Danae stared. My journal? He gave that to me when I was 9. Precisely, Isaac said. He hid them in childhood entries. Invisible ink. Numeric cipher woven through your drawings. Very sentimental. Danae felt sick. Leonardo turned to her, voice steady. We'll figure it out later. Right now. Right now, Isaac interrupted. You're coming with us. He snapped his fingers. Adrian raised the gun. Leonardo stepped in front of Danae instinctively. Adrian's voice softened. Move, Leo. Please. Don't make me do this. Danae grabbed Leonardo's arm. No, Leonardo, don't you dare. He gently pushed her behind him. And for a moment, a single, fragile moment, Leonardo and Adrian looked like two boys again. Two brothers caught between loyalty and ruin. Leonardo whispered, You can still choose me. Adrian's eyes flickered. Just once. Then hardened. Too late. He pulled the trigger. Danae screamed. Leonardo lunged. The bullet grazed his shoulder, spinning him sideways and crashing him into a metal drum. Leonardo. He groaned, grabbing his arm, blood trickling down. Isaac growled at Adrian. I said alive. Adrian snapped back. You said he was optional. Danae didn't think. She moved. Adrenaline exploded through her as she grabbed a loose piece of rebar and charged toward Isaac from behind. One of Isaac's men noticed and swung his gun to fire. Leonardo, bleeding, staggered up and tackled him hard. The gun fired into the ceiling. Screams echoed. Chaos erupted. Danae swung the rebar toward Isaac. He dodged. Barely. He grabbed her wrist. Vice grip. Cold expression. You are far too much trouble. Danae spat in his face. He recoiled. Leonardo surged forward despite his injury, grabbing Isaac from behind. But Adrian ripped him off and threw him to the ground. You're weak, Leo. Leonardo coughed. Vision blurred. No. I just have something to lose. And Danae. Danae knew exactly what she needed to do. She saw it. The forklift key. Still in the ignition. Leonardo. She yelled. Move. He didn't question. He rolled to the side. Danae sprinted to the forklift, jumped into the seat, turned the key. The engine rumbled awake. Isaac spun toward her, eyes widening. Danae slammed the accelerator. The forklift lurched forward straight toward Isaac. He dove out of the way. But Adrian, distracted by Leonardo, didn't see it in time. Danae jerked the wheel, avoiding crushing him. But the forklift's lift caught Adrian's leg, throwing him across crates. Leonardo seized the moment. He charged Isaac. Their fists collided, rage, betrayal, years of unspoken war. Danae scrambled down from the forklift. Isaac grabbed a stray piece of broken pipe, swung it. Leonardo ducked, grabbed Isaac's arm, and twisted. Isaac screamed as the pipe dropped. He fell to his knees. Leonardo stood over him, chest heaving, blood staining his shirt. This ends tonight, he said. Danae ran to Leonardo. He pulled her close, forehead pressed to hers. You okay? He whispered. She nodded, breathlessly. Are you? No, he said honestly. But I'm better with you. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Isaac snarled. You think this is over? Leonardo stared him down. It is for you. And then Isaac saw something behind them. Something that made even him go quiet. Adrian. Wincing. Bleeding. But standing. Gun aimed at Isaac. Isaac froze. Adrian, what are you doing? Adrian's hand shook. You said you'd help me. I did help you. No, Adrian whispered, voice cracking. You used me. Just like Dad. Danae held her breath. Leonardo's eyes softened. Adrian. Please put the gun down. Adrian shook his head. I'm tired of being someone's weapon. Then he turned the gun toward the ground and let it fall. A surrender. A choice. But Isaac lunged for it. Leonardo shoved Adrian out of the way. Danae screamed, a single gunshot echoed. And Isaac fell. Leonardo stood where Isaac had lunged. Smoke curled from the gun in his hand, breathing like a man who'd finally killed his demon. Danae covered her mouth. Adrian sank to the floor in shock. Sirens grew louder. Leonardo turned to Danae. "It's over," he said softly. But Danae shook her head. "No," she whispered, voice trembling. "This is where it begins. Only people who support cowards like Isaac would leave without subscribing. If you're standing with Danae and Leonardo, hit subscribe now." The flashing red and blue lights painted the loading dock in a feverish glow. Sirens wailed. Officers shouted. Metal clattered. And through it all, Danae held onto Leonardo's hand like it was the last thread keeping her tethered to life. Leonardo winced as officers moved toward them. Guns raised, he immediately lifted his hands. Danae stepped in front of him, chin high. "He's the one who called for backup," she said firmly. "He stopped a murder. He's injured. Back off unless you want a lawsuit." The nearest officer blinked, surprised by the fire in her voice, then slowly lowered his weapon. Leonardo whispered, almost amused, "You threatening the NYPD for me now?" Danae shot him a look. "Oh, don't get cute. You're bleeding all over the concrete." Adrian stumbled forward, limping, arms raised in surrender. An officer rushed to him, shouting, "Weapon! Weapon!" "No!" Danae barked. He dropped it. "Look." The gun lay yards away. The officer hesitated, then nodded. Adrian sagged with relief. Leonardo turned to him, still gripping his wounded shoulder. "You didn't have to step in," he murmured. Adrian swallowed. Tears welled, real ones. "I know," he whispered, "but I'm done choosing the wrong side." Leonardo exhaled softly. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was the beginning of something that once looked impossible. 2 paramedics arrived, pushing Danae aside as they started patching Leonardo's shoulder. "Sir, you need stitches. And probably a hospital. Later," Leonardo muttered. "No," Danae snapped, grabbing his chin. "Now." The paramedic raised an eyebrow. "Is she your wife?" Leonardo's lips twitched in a faint smirk. "Not yet." Danae's brows shot up. "Don't play with me." "Who's playing?" Before she could reply, the detective in charge approached. Detective Ramirez. Tired eyes. Beige trench coat. The aura of a man who'd seen too much and been paid too little for all of it. "So," Ramirez said, flipping open a notebook. "You're Leonardo Kim." Leonardo didn't answer. Ramirez sighed. "Look, I know who Isaac was and what he ran. But you brought us the evidence. You called the tip line. And you neutralized a threat. That counts." Danae folded her arms tightly. "Are you arresting him or not?" Ramirez stared at her, then at Leonardo, then back at her. "Not tonight," he said finally. "But he will need to come in for a statement." Danae nodded. "He will." Leonardo blinked. "Since when do you speak for me?" "Since you almost died," she said flatly. "Sit down." He sat. Ramirez looked between the two of them again, confused but respecting the vibe enough not to comment. "We'll send an officer to follow your ambulance," Ramirez added, "in case any of Isaac's allies try to finish what he started." Leonardo nodded, jaw tightening. Good. He didn't want Isaac haunting Danae for another second. The paramedics lifted him onto the stretcher. Danae climbed into the ambulance with him without asking. Adrian watched them go. Leonardo looked back at him. "Adrian," he called softly. His brother met his eyes. "Go to Ramirez," Leonardo said. "Tell him everything you know. It's the only way out." Adrian swallowed. "Will you visit me?" Leonardo held his gaze for a long moment, then nodded once. Adrian broke. Tears slipped down his face. He raised a hand in a trembling half-wave. The ambulance doors shut. Danae sat beside Leonardo, her hands shaking now that the adrenaline was draining. He studied her quietly. "You saved my life," he murmured. She shook her head. "You saved mine first." "No. I mean earlier." He reached for her hand. When you stood between me and the cops. When you stood up to Isaac. When you got into that forklift, it was like you were starring in Fast and Furious. Hospitality Division. Danae snorted. I told you I don't play. You don't, he agreed softly. And that's new for me. The tone of his voice made her chest tighten. He squeezed her hand. Look, he said slowly. I know I'm complicated. That's an understatement. I know I'm dangerous. Also an understatement. And I know I came into your life all wrong. Danae softened. Yes, you did. But he swallowed hard. I don't want to lose you. She stared at him. Leonardo. We barely know each other. He shook his head. No, Danae. I know you. I knew who you were the second you said. Repeat it. She blinked slowly. He smiled faintly. You were fire. And no one's ever set me on fire before without trying to burn me down. Danae tried to fight it. A smile formed at the corners of her mouth. But it was useless. She leaned closer. So what do you want? She whispered. He held her gaze. Everything, he said. With you. Her breath caught. Leonardo. I'm not asking for an answer now, he murmured. I just need you to know that I'm choosing you. From now on. He gently brushed a strand of hair from her cheek. I choose you, Danae Brooks. She didn't cry easily, but she felt something hot sting her eyes. She squeezed his hand back. And I choose you for now, she said softly. But you have to earn the rest. He smirked. Oh, I will. Danae laughed through her tears. The ambulance swerved around a corner. Leonardo whispered, Does this mean you'll visit me in the hospital? She arched a brow. Visit? Sir. I'm climbing into your bed the second the nurses leave. He grinned. That's the best thing anyone's ever said to me. Danae leaned against his shoulder, careful of the wound, as the ambulance jolted toward the hospital. For the first time in a long time, she felt safe. He felt hope. And fate, for once, wasn't interrupting them. It was clearing a path. If you believe toxic men like Isaac don't deserve a comeback, hit subscribe. Only villains would leave without supporting Danae's victory. 3 months later, Manhattan looked different. Maybe it was the spring sunlight. Maybe it was the quiet that followed chaos, or maybe it was the fact that Danae Brooks was no longer a waitress dodging danger. She was the woman a former Mafia boss couldn't stop looking at, like she'd rewritten every law of gravity. Aurelio's reopened after the incident, though the staff now joked the restaurant had been spiritually cleansed by drama. Danae no longer wore the crisp vest or apron. She no longer floated between tables like she was dodging landmines. Today, she walked in wearing a soft cream dress and gold hoops, carrying a black leather planner and radiating the kind of confidence only peace and the right man could give. The staff immediately whispered, Is she here to visit Leonardo? Is she consulting? Did she finally quit? Girl, she'd better come back and save us from table 6. Danae just smiled and headed for the back patio. It had been renovated. Fresh paint. New lighting. Flowers everywhere. And at the center, Leonardo. He stood beside a wide table covered in blueprint sheets, his suit sleeves rolled to the elbow, hair slightly tousled, and lips curved into the kind of smile only she was allowed to see. You're late, he said. You love that about me, Danae replied. He kissed her cheek lightly, still careful, still reverent. He had learned softness the hard way. Learned patience. Learned that control meant nothing if it cost him her. Danae looked at the blueprints. So this is really happening? She asked. Oh, it's happening, Leonardo replied. In bold letters, the header read, Danae's Kitchen. Private Catering and Event House, NYC. She exhaled, overwhelmed. This is too much. No, he said quietly. This is yours. The building was already purchased. Renovations approved. Permits expedited, legally this time. She turned to him. Leo, you don't owe me anything. I don't, he agreed. Which is exactly why giving this to you feels right. He brushed a thumb along her jaw. You changed everything. The least I can do is give you a place to build a future that isn't tied to someone else's shadow. Danae's eyes softened. What about your future? He smirked and pulled another set of papers from the folder. Leonardo Kim, official partnership application, new role. Management, security, dishwashing when required. Danae burst out laughing. You. Washing dishes. I'll do it shirtless to distract you, he said. And the customers. And the health inspector. She playfully shoved him. You're ridiculous. He kissed her forehead. And yours. A moment of quiet settled between them. Warm, gentle, earned. Danae finally asked the question that had lived inside her since the dock. Do you miss it? The life? Leonardo didn't hesitate. No. I miss some of the people. Not the life. And you're not tempted to go back? He shook his head. Not after knowing how it feels to wake up and not fear tomorrow. Not after meeting a woman who made me want everything I thought I couldn't have. He paused. And seeing Adrian get better helps. Danae smiled softly. Adrian was in a county rehabilitation program, working, rebuilding, and finally choosing something other than destruction. He wrote to Leonardo every week. Leonardo read every letter. Danae leaned her head on his shoulder. Then slid a small object into his hand. A key. He blinked. What's this? The key to my new apartment. He raised a brow. Are you asking me to move in? No, she said. He frowned slightly. She smiled. I'm asking if I can move into your ridiculously overpriced penthouse so I don't have to spend every night packing a suitcase for the morning after. Leonardo stared at her, then laughed, soft and disbelieving. You want to live with me? I already do. I'm just tired of pretending I don't. He pulled her close, forehead resting against hers. Danae Brooks, if you don't move in tonight, I will physically carry you. Try it, she teased. I'll sue you. I'll represent myself. You'll lose. He smiled, eyes warm and full. Then marry me. Danae froze. Leonardo didn't blink. I'm serious, he whispered. I don't want a life where you're not at the end of every day with me. Her heart slammed in her chest. Leo, we've been through a lot. Yes, he said. Which is why we're ready. He took her hand. Marry me. Build your career. Build a life with me. Let's be something that wasn't born from fear or chaos or someone else's sins. She swallowed hard. You really want this? I want you. Everything else is optional. Danae laughed, a shocked, breathless, emotional sound. Then she whispered the word that changed both their futures. Okay. He blinked. Okay. Okay, Leo. Yes. He kissed her, slow, deep, certain. The kind of kiss that said finally and I'm done running and you're home. When they pulled apart, he rested his forehead against hers again. You just made me the happiest reformed criminal in New York. Danae laughed again, wiping her eyes. You'd better stay reformed. Oh, I will. A shadow crossed her smile. I meant it, Leo. No slipping back. No disappearing. His voice dropped low, sincere. Danae, I walked away from a life built on fear because I finally had something worth living for. He squeezed her hands. And I'd rather die than lose what you've given me. She kissed him softly. The city hummed around them. The sun warmed the patio. And for once, no threats were lurking, no enemies hunting, and no shadows stalking their joy. Just peace. Just a possibility. Just them. And it was enough.
Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazy and intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out.